Hey Algebra 2, in this video we're going to be talking about section 7.2 day 3, coterminal angles. So as always we're going to start with the definition. What is a coterminal angle? So you can kind of get it just based on the way it's, like the name of it, right? So it's an angle. That's coterminal. So you have multiple angles that have a terminal side. So angles, does this help? I feel like that didn't really do much. Angles that terminate at the same position. So they have the same terminal side. So an example of this, let's make a coordinate plane. And then let's draw a 52-degree angle. So I'm going to say this angle is theta and it equals 52 degrees. And then an angle that's coterminal is going to be 772 degrees. So it goes around 360 and then again plus 52. So 772 degrees. So these are both very different angles, right? Very different sizes, but they're coterminal because they end, right, in the same position. That's why the label is so important. So that means that theta, and I can say that this equals theta prime. So theta, which is 52 degrees, and theta prime are coterminal angles. Okay. All right, so let's do a couple of examples. So the first example I'd like to do is identify two positive and two negative coterminal angles. So for the first example, let's do negative 35 degrees. Okay. So to find two positive and two negative, what we're going to do is we're either going to add or we're going to subtract 360 degrees. And because we want two, we're going to do each one twice. So first I'm going to do my positive angles. So I'll just say x equals for my coterminal. So I'm going to take negative 35 degrees and then I'm going to add 360 degrees. And I get 325 degrees. So that's one positive angle. And then if I add 360 again, right, we get 685 degrees. So I added 360, so that's my first positive angle, and then I'll do it again, and I get 685 degrees. So basically, we're adding this however many times. I guess you could write an equation and say times n, right? So we did it once, and then we did it twice. So for my negative angles, I'm just going to subtract 360 degrees however many times, right? N times. And so if I do it once, I get negative 395. And if I do it a second time, I get negative 755. Okay, so there are my two positive angles that are coterminal and two negative angles that are coterminal. So you can also do this with radians. So let's do, oops, I didn't mean to do that in blue. You know I like to be consistent. Let's do 5 pi over 9. So we're going to, in radians, we're either going to add or we're going to subtract 2 pi because that's one full circle, right? So similarly, you can write an equation and say 5 pi over 9. Let's start with positive, plus 2 pi. Then you can multiply it by how many times you want to do that. And then if we're not going to use a calculator, then I would get a common denominator of 9, right? So this is going to become 18 pi times n. So for my positive angles, 5 plus 18, right, give me 23 pi over 9. So that's my first positive coterminal angle. And my second, I will add 18 again and get 41 pi over 9. So these are two positive coterminal angles. And then for negative, I'm going to do the same idea, except subtract. And instead of doing 2 pi n, I'm going to just go straight to common denominator. Okay, so the first time I subtract, so 5 minus 18 gives me negative 13 pi over 9. And then if I subtract 18 again, I get negative 31 pi over 9. So here's an example of two positive and two negative coterminal angles. And we'll do some more practice with this together in class.